Yesterday, we said bon voyage to our friend and reporter Boaz. Of all of his niche interests, gardening was something that a lot of you at home said you love seeing here on Talk Pittsburgh.
And including all the mascots.
Yes.
Right. So Boaz left one more story for us all, a farewell to his garden in Squirrel Hill. Take a look.
For the last few years, I've been able to take you into the backyards of folks across Western Pennsylvania and show off their gardens. And some folks started writing in and were like, Boaz, why don't you show us your garden? So we're here in front of my house in Squirrel Hill, and I'm going to show you my garden. So before we get started, I just want to tell you that 6 years ago when we moved here, this was all lawn. It was all classic Pittsburgh sloped lawn, and that was it. There were no hedges, no flowers, nothing. And so we created this sort of garden woodland habitat here, and I want to show you some of my favorite parts of the garden. So this is really interesting ground cover. It grows in sort of a more shady area, and this is wild ginger. And the ginger that we have in the store is native to Asia, but this is our version of the ginger. And you can eat it, though I think you shouldn't eat too much because there are some toxins in it, I guess. I've got some oak leaf hydrangea over there, this beautiful cut leaf coneflower, and this is a plant I love. It's Carolina allspice. I was going to say it blooms these beautiful maroon flowers all summer long, and of course I don't see any. It really has a lot at the beginning of the season, and then there's still a couple throughout the season as it continues to go. And I've got this fragrant sumac, which does great on dry slopes. It's a fun little shrub over here. And then we're just starting to see a couple blooms on these asters, and these are going to go nuts in September. It's going to be covered with these purple blooms. They're so fun. And of course, I've got a bunch of these fun grasses here. I think this is called Black Hawk, I think this one. It's really fun, it's decorative, it doesn't have flowers, but it has these fun little sort of details and this nice texture. And behind that, of course, is our native eastern redbud tree, which is covered with those pinkish purplish blooms right at the beginning of the season. And this is one of the parts of the garden that I'm most proud of. This is our rock garden. So I want to show you some of this rock over here. This is tufa stone. It's quarried in Ohio. I don't even know if it's available anymore, but there was a neighbor who was getting rid of a ton of it. And Brooke and I schlepped it all over here and by hand placed it on this hillside, which was about a week of really sweaty days. And then I was able to plant it with this phlox and with this native cactus. It's native to Western Pennsylvania. Yes, there's some ferns in here, there's some columbine, there's some heuchera growing, and the cool thing about this tufa rock is it's super porous. And so little plants, little seeds can get inside the holes here, and then the plants will grow right out of the rock. So this can be a really tricky part of the garden. I call this the hell strip. It's this narrow piece of ground right next to the road, and of course in the winter they might be dumping salt on it, there's exhaust on it, maybe people are going to park here and step over it, so these need to be really hardy plants. And I planted this really cool allium, I think it's called Allium Millennium, and it is beautiful, these purple blooms, and it is covered in bees this time of year too. So we know we're doing our part for our local wildlife. They're off there. Some of them are native bees, so they're solitary, other ones are honeybees, so they're making honey that maybe you can buy in Giant Eagle later this summer. And then over here, this is where our sloped lawn used to be, and now it is covered with this sort of meadow. And this is a really unique plant. It's called the rattlesnake master. They look like they'd be spiky, but they're actually sort of soft, these things. And of course, this is integrated with these grasses, this little blue stem grass, which is a little purpley, which is fun. And it's fun to have that texture, and even in the winter, even though they die, they still add a little structure, and when it snows, it looks really cool. And now we're here in the backyard. So the front and side yard is all native. Back here, it's a little more scattershot. There's a little bit of everything. So we've got rhubarb growing here, which honestly, I don't love the flavor of rhubarb, but I love these giant leaves. I think they're so pretty. And then it's this partially native cottage garden, which is really in bloom all summer long. So I've got these awesome coreopsis and this echinacea and this salvia and this Joe Pye weed. And then I've got all my veggies over here, starting with our fig tree over here. And then of course a ton of tomatoes, which are really going crazy this time of year. I don't want to rub it in. I know Heather was growing a lot of zinnias this year. She said they weren't going so well. Well, my zinnias are doing just fine, Heather. And it has been a really productive summer for my vegetables. I'm just looking around right now. I've got 2 cucumbers over here. Here are some giant beans over here. And oh my goodness, I must have lost track of these zucchinis, because this one is pretty good. Do you like zucchini, Scott? But it has been so fun to feature and explore all these amazing gardens in Western Pennsylvania. I'm sad to say goodbye to this one, but I'm curious to see what I can grow in Ontario. Do you think you can plant anything and harvest anything in the middle of February under 2 feet of snow? Well, I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out.
I know he will. When we were talking to him yesterday about, next steps and going to Toronto, he said that he was actually excited that he's going to have this blank slate. Like, as much as he's loved this garden and caring for what they planted and grew there, how exciting it is to kind of have a blank slate and do like a do-over almost.
Yeah, you could tell he put a lot of work into that garden. I must say that I had some zucchini bread made with that zucchini.
Was it so good?
Amazing.
I bet it was.
Yeah.